The following is a Live the Dream Media production.
Hi, I'm Alan Murdoch. For the past 20 years, I've been buying, fixing, and selling properties right here in Southern Arizona. And I want to buy your property. Whether it's a house, apartment, commercial building, or vacant land, regardless of the condition or the situation, I want to talk to you. When you sell to me, I pay cash and it's hassle-free. No repairs, no closing costs, and no commissions. If you have a property you don't want to deal with and you want a quick solution, call, text, or visit selltalon.com. Again, that's selltalon.com.
All right, so mind our little slight timing things with our new system. We're working through this thing. So you might have seen us go live a little bit earlier, but what we're doing is testing our new setup. Yeah. So,
hey, and shout out to Scott Robb.
Yeah.
In there, the master of the keyboard.
Yes, he's got a lot of stuff going on in there. Like, he's...
It's fine. Yeah. It's like drinking through a fire hose.
Yes.
We got this.
Says the guy that would know.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks, Scott. Love you, man.
We appreciate you. So, anybody watching here today, sorry, my phone is not on silent, which is a cardinal sin in here.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to go ahead and just knock out some push-ups.
Yeah, knock it out. Hey, so, and I'm going to change chairs because I found somebody's replaced my quiet one with the squeaky one. He's got 10, 11, 48. So, hey, David came to me this morning, and he said, let's do
Mike's right here.
Let's go live, and let's talk about what we've been doing over here at Live the Dream Media for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
You brought out the original plan that was written in spring of 2020, and I think we pulled it off. So
we did.
Big shout out to you, David.
Yeah, big shout out to everybody that helped us get here.
Yeah.
You know, we can't do it. You can't do anything alone. We talk about that all the time, and relationships are really important. And so, there's a lot of people we want to thank. You know, I want to thank Clint and his family for helping us with everything and putting us in a position to be able to do this with our venue, the whole space we have, everything. You know, it's just everything has been pieced together piece by piece. It's taken time. It's you know, referring back to the plan, the original plan, right? You put it together and you want it to happen fast, right? Yeah. You want it to just kind of just hit a sprinting start, just go. But that's not the reality of things, and it really takes time to build into what we had envisioned, and it's really crazy how the timing happened. Right? You want to be in control of things. You want to set stuff going, and there was something else involved in the timing.
But you got to have a vision.
Yeah.
You got to have a plan. You got to have a checklist.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, those 4 years, and it's not been 4 full years.
Right.
It was April of 2020. Think about what we were doing in April 2020. Everybody think for a moment where they were in
Flashback.
April of 2020. We were at the beginning of something that no one had a clue how to navigate it, by the way.
Right.
Except our good buddy out there in Marana, Ed Honea.
Yeah.
Said, like, do you. That was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But everything on that list, when you checked it off, it was almost like it was written yesterday. When you read it, you flash back to that moment.
Right.
We have accomplished, and I'm going to give shout out to David now. Man, the stuff that we built over here was built on basically his back and his brains. You know, the setup that we have now is, we look at old pictures from 4 years ago. It's like same building, but yeah, there's very little that looks the same.
Yeah.
And we couldn't have done it without the people. And we're going to name off a few names. We will forget or leave out dozens of names.
Yeah, sorry in advance on that. But.
So if your name doesn't get shouted out here, but one of the first people to come in here and has had a big influence was Chris Collins from Royal Valley Church of the Nazarene. Yeah, thank you, Chris.
Thanks for that, Scott.
Chris
Appreciate
was one of the
that.
very first ones in here, did an in-depth conversation with you, and it really kind of set the tempo. I can go back and check that original video out with Chris. There's some really good stuff in there. We've had the mayor of Marana, Ed Honea, in here. We've had Bob Elliott, legendary basketball and business figure here in Tucson, Arizona, in the room. Ron Arenas comes to mind. Picture Rocks Plumbing. Chris DeSimone has his own platform here now. If you haven't seen any of Chris's stuff, shame on you. Faith Family Schools, the LTD stuff that Chris is doing.
Right.
Jump in here because I know we got a lot of names, and those are the ones that came up to.
Hey, maybe. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
But before we do that, we got a caller.
We got a caller.
We got a caller.
Mayor,
Okay.
and I'm going to punch the mayor through.
Who we
See if
got?
we can make this work. This
Oh,
is,
beautiful.
Mayor Marana.
Mayor Ed has called. We're in trouble. Uh-oh. He's like, shut it down.
Hey, Ed.
Yes, sir.
There he is. Hey, Mayor. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
We're fantastic. Thanks. Thanks for listening.
Good morning, Ed.
We were just saying
morning,
we were
David.
just shouting you out right then. Good timing, man. How you doing?
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity to talk to you.
Hey, so real quick while we've got you on the phone, tell us what's going on out in Marana. I know there's a lot of good stuff happening, but fill us
Well, it would take a couple hours. I don't know if I have enough time. You got Founders coming up on the 16th, and we got State of the Town on the 8th of March. We've got so many things going on. We have a new community center being built. We have a new Fry's Mega Shopping Center being built here on the north end. There's just so many things happening. We've been really blessed.
Okay, are you still there, Ed?
Yes.
Okay. You know, I want to shout out your new Convos with Ed. We got a new Conversations with Ed show that we produce here at Live the Dream Media, and name some of the names you've had on there because those will be some of the other names that we're neglecting.
Jeff Bridget, Police Chief, Marana.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Sylvia Lee, the new Supervisor, District 3. We've had different ones. General Ted Maxwell
Nice.
has been on there.
Dan Streeter.
We've had Dr. Dan Streeter, and the feedback on that podcast has been phenomenal. Dr. Streeter's a great guy. He gave so much information on the Marana school system and what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
He really does.
You know, Ed, you and I spent a lot of time together. You and I and David and Scott, we've spent a lot of time together. And I'd be remiss not to discuss the fact that we're in that campaign season again. Like it seems like it rolls around every 30 days. But I do want to give a shout out. You are seeking re-election for the position of mayor in the town of Marana. And Melissa Zuppi, a newcomer to the scene, although a lifelong resident of Marana, is in the run. And then Roxanne Ziegler is also running for re-election. And all those people, with addition to our buddy Anton Chisholm, who's running for constable of Precinct 10, will all be at the Founders Day Parade on the 16th.
Absolutely will. We'll have booths there as well.
Did you say booze or booths?
Well, I think it's BOF, booth.
Booth. Oh, okay.
Booth.
Bring your own booth.
But anyway, the whole thing is, and we've talked about it a lot, is life is built in relationships.
Absolutely.
Yes.
If individuals that come to Founders Day have 30 seconds to stop and talk to Melissa or Roxanne or Anton or me, it gives them a little bit of feeling about who the people are that are seeking to represent them.
Right. That's a fun time. I've done the Founders Day a couple of times. I encourage, especially if you're a resident of Marana, to be there, but you don't have to be to enjoy this. There's a lot of activities. There's a parade. There's tons of candy. There's tons of food.
Yes,
there's tons of
trucks.
music.
Yes.
There's really cool people like Mayor Ed and Roxanne and Melissa and Anton, and the list goes on and on. So if you've never done it, definitely this year should be your year to do it. And if you have, you know what I'm saying is the truth. So come on back.
You know what I also like about the Founders Day Parade, Ed, is, and I'm a little biased because I came from the police department there. The police officers at the Marana Police Department are out and about having fun at the Founders Day Parade too. I love that.
Well, you know, our police officers are people. those men and women live in our communities. Their kids go to our schools. And we want people to love and respect our police officers in Marana, because I might be a little prejudiced, but I think we have the best chief with Jeff Pridgett.
Cheers.
And the best police officers in the state.
I would agree with you.
Yeah. And you know what? Let's not leave out the other first responders, the Northwest Fire and their commitment, and John Cross and all of his team over there at Northwest Fire.
John Cross, his team, and I'm sure that Chief Brad Bradley
exactly.
and Deputy Chief Healy and a lot of them and their families will be at Founders Day as well.
Yeah, it's a great event.
Northwest Fire off is right on the parade route.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a fun time. We encourage you to get out to Marana on the 16th. Starts about, I don't know, 9:30-ish. Does that sound right?
Right.
All day
right.
Saturday. So what else you got for us, Mayor? What else is going on in Marana that you want to share with us?
Well, I mean, there's just so many things going on in Marana, and we've been so successful. Housing is, we're getting about 100 new housing permits a month. We have about 2,500 apartments being built. We're doing expansions to parks. We're doing expansions to roadways. If a lot of people haven't seen, we're getting ready to do Tangerine Road, the freeway, about 2/3 the way up to Dove Mountain Boulevard, and that's going to be 4-lane, all weather divided, and just a lot of really good things happening in our community.
One more thing that I know you've been heavily involved in, because I've been involved in it with you, is the new Marana Food Bank. And I'd like for you to touch just a little bit on that, because it is a new and improved situation that I know you were heavily involved in.
Well, I can tell you, when the Tucson Regional Food Bank decided to close the Marana office and go to another format, and this is no slight against them. I appreciate what they do in our community. I talked to my friend Tom Murphy, Mayor of Sarita, because I know they have a private food bank down there. And he introduced Carlos Valles and Sophia and Penny and so many people.
Jackie.
Make a long story short, the Sarita Food Bank helped the Marana Food Bank get off the ground, and we did the ribbon cutting December 1st, and we are blowing and going.
Yeah. I haven't seen the latest numbers, but through the first 60 days or so, it was about 11,000 people had been fed, which is a staggering number.
We're reaching more people than Regional Food Bank was reaching.
Wow.
And it's more than just food, too, Ed. You want to talk a little bit about, in addition to the food, which is vital, there's other things that the Marana Food Bank and Resource Center offer. Do you want to touch on any of those?
My friend Rhonda Pena, who works for Pima County, and a lady under her, Marhalva, we have the Navigator program. And what that is they furnish people to come to the food bank, and they help individuals learn how to fill out a tax return. They teach people how to fill out a resume to apply for employment. And eventually we'll be providing education and different things of that nature. And our food bank is not just necessarily a handout, it is more a hand up.
Right.
We want to improve the lives of the men and women at Bryn
Amen.
That need our services. And maybe right now they do really need our services, helping to feed their family. But we're going to help them help themselves to feed their family.
Amen.
It's a completely different ideology.
I love it. Yeah, I was in some of those original meetings, and the way that Carlos and his team explained it was like, I remember Terry Roseman, the town manager, saying, well, we don't need to reinvent the wheel. Will you help us? And they were gracious enough to say yes. So, big shout out to
I
all those folks, and starting with Tom Murphy, the mayor down there.
No, but I starting with my friend Tom Murphy, and that's going to be part of my theme at Founders Day is talking about relationships with different government and social agencies in the region. And Carlos immediately showed up in Marana. Then he brought Sophia with him, who's kind of the number 2 person. They're the number 1 and 2 person at the Sarita Food Bank, but they're the number 1 and 2 person at Marana Food Bank. Well, and people kind of laugh at that, but we're able to coordinate and work together. And why should we try to invent something that's working perfectly?
Exactly.
If the people that started in Sarita can help us do the same thing.
Exactly. And like you said, that was built on a relationship that was long-standing first. Because you were able to reach out to Tom, and actually the Marana problem kind of went away that day. We didn't know it, but
I'll reach out, and Tom put us in contact with with Carlos and his group. Wonderful people, Penny and I think Elaine and different people on the board. And then our friend Rhonda Pena, who I have been a friend with for a long time, said, hey, we want to put a navigator in the Marana Food Bank. We want to help people get a job, file a tax return, fill out a resume. And incidentally, the county is picking up the wage for those navigators.
Yeah. Big
So
shout out to the county. The county on that, and the town of Marana. I know town of Marana has written a sizable check. The county really came through. Thank you for your relationships on that, building that, Ed.
Town of Marana wrote a $150,000 check. We'll probably write about 100 from now on.
Where's the soundboard?
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
But I tell you, starting with Sharon Bronson, the first supervisor, District 3. And continuing with Dr. Sylvia Lee, the current supervisor, they gave us $100,000 for the last half of the fiscal year, and they're putting forth a program to give us $200,000 for at least the next 3 years.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
And I might tell everybody, this is Marana Food Bank Community Resource Center, but it's a 501c3. It's not run by the town of Marana. But it is, we certainly are helping as much as we can.
That's so cool. Ed, you know what? We love having you on.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
And matter of fact, we'll see you tomorrow night at the community dinner, first ever.
Invite only.
Yeah, invite only. Matter of fact, I'll call you a little later. I may have an Uber driver change for you, so I'll let you know.
I have a ride. Linda's going to bring me.
Okay,
Oh,
that's
wonderful.
awesome. Amen. Cool. Very cool.
So you don't even have to come and get me. Just have the food hot.
Just keep the food hot. Hey, Ed, thank you so much as always. We really appreciate
Have a
you.
wonderful day, guys.
You
too,
too.
sir.
Thank you, Ed.
And I just want to remind the listeners and watchers that Ed is running for re-election for mayor at the town of Marana, and you can visit edformarana.com, sign his petition, donate whatever you need to do to make keep him in there. The crazy thing is he's not running against anybody. So
At this point that we know of.
So, but if we do get somebody else running for you, we'll get that information. But right now, he's the only one that's on the candidate list for.
And
for
while
them.
we're discussing candidates and elected officials, in about an hour and 15 minutes, we're going to be here with Edgar Soto, known Edgar for ever. He's drinking a little Perrier over there on the clock. Look at that.
I'm sorry, gentlemen, but Perrier has not paid their bill for sponsorship this month. So good. David, if you could turn that label just a little bit so we don't see. There we go.
Yeah, I got you.
Now
Until
I
the
feel
check
like
gets, comes in the mail.
Check clears.
Hey, listeners and viewers, if you're just joining us right now, Scott is back there, and he's got like 20 different things going on at once, and he's still chiming in and cracking jokes. So we appreciate it a lot. But I want to get back to what we were talking about before it was so awesome. Ed called in.
Yeah.
Before we're talking to Ed on the phone. Be patient in the process. I can't stress that enough. You have wrangled me in so many times during these 4 years where, you know, I'm trying to make something happen really quick. I'm getting frustrated that it's not. And you're always like, David, it's going to play itself out. And I can't help but now go around telling people that I see all bent up going,
what do you tell them? What do you say to them? Because I know the line you use.
What's that? What do you
What's
mean?
that one line you use that I've used a few times when you're trying to get people to just relax?
Yeah.
Keep your
powder dry. Yeah, keep your powder dry. And if you're wondering what we mean by that, we're not talking about like put a plastic cover over a bowl of powder that you bought, like baby powder. No, what it means is let it play out. Right?
Be prepared.
Be prepared, but calculate and see what's going on, read what's going on, but don't take it personal. Don't think that because you haven't heard something or there's things that are going on that it's like that it's against you or that the world is against you or anything like that. Just wait. Let it play out. Don't jump in there. Don't get frustrated. Say something you're gonna regret.
When did we do that, David? Honestly, when did we all become everything so personal?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't even have an honest disagreement with each other. I just do not understand that. Because I'm going to quote Warren Buffett. You can always tell someone to go to wherever tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to do it right now. If they need that or you feel like you got to say that, why don't you sleep on it at least one night? Because you might not feel the same way you do tomorrow. And a lot of things, what you say or do, you can't bring them back. So, again, you can tell by looking at David and I. You can't do side-by-sides now, but you can tell by looking at us. Age has a lot to do with this. I'm just going to say it up front. When I was your age, it was pretty tough. It's still pretty tough at this age, but I have learned that just, being aggressive all the time isn't. Be assertive, but I don't think aggression is, a big ally to most people.
Mm-hmm. And something Ed said on the phone was relationships. He said that, but, I remember, I've told the story a couple times. He came into the control room here, and he just was like, hey, David, you got to be better on your relationships. Work on relationships. And I'm like, this man's right. Yeah. You know what I mean? At the time, I wasn't really focusing on going out and networking and stuff a lot. I'm very selective in that.
Well, you can cherry pick.
Yeah, you cherry pick because what I've learned, and if there's somebody that's thinking about doing something or they're involved in something right now, is like really learn to read the people that you're potentially networking with and see what the intent is behind it. Like, I'm not going to knock the networking world, but I'm going to say that there is a lot of potential for people to pull somebody into a room to take over everything and to get them to buy stuff and to get them to sign things. Find groups, networking groups where, the conversation you guys are having is, how are you doing?
Yeah. How can we lift each other?
Yeah. How can we help each other? Not, hey, I got this, I can get you a business card for, that kind of stuff, right? Like, what are you doing now? Like, so setting up those small network groups, now it's even cool because now you have more, I'm not going to say like you have these one-on-one lunches and stuff now where you're having these really like well-calculated, well-intended lunches or just meeting in a coffee shop. I mean, so work on the relationships in that way. That's what I've seen. That's my advice over this last couple of years is like, just don't throw yourself into with everybody. Because I hate to say it, and they're sharks.
They're baby sharks for the most part, but they still hurt.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of them.
Yeah, and it's I'm
a relationship guy too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really on this, and I can simplify my motivation. And I think Ed would agree with me. My mother has always been a relationship type person.
Right.
I was talking to my daughter the other day, and I'm like, Jordan, this is the way this is. Mm-hmm. Relationship, probably the number one. If you have to pick one thing that you need to focus on, it should be your relationships. Starting with God, with your Maker, with your family, and with everybody, especially those around you.
Yeah.
You need to have a working relationship that if you need, want, or can assist something, that you've got an open line. You don't need to be building relationships when you're in trouble.
Yeah.
That's when you call, 911. The relationships have to be built in advance. And so if you're doing that networking thing and doing the circuit, don't go with an agenda.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I don't even care if you take your business cards with you.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
Because there's other ways we can all use these right now to connect with each other.
Right.
I rarely, matter of fact, I was at a big event the other day and I didn't have cards, but you know what? Everybody I needed to link up with, if you will, we got our phones out, and 100% of the people over the weekend that I spoke with and talked to that wanted to, I either text them or they text me. So all those conversations have more depth than a piece of paper stuck in my wallet that I'm going to clean out in 3 months.
Right.
Go with no objective other than to find out who's in that room.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go again, find out a little more about those people in that room. And don't hang with the same people every time.
Yeah.
Sitting at your same table of eight's not really helping you much.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Right?
That's the
You can
truth.
sit with them separate. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're out and about to maximize networking,
Mm-hmm.
be a listener rather than a talker.
Yep.
Because what do we
Active
do?
listening, yeah.
What do we do? What do people tell us all the time that we're good at? And we are. We're connectors.
Right.
You know why? Because we know who to talk to. We know who can help you work on your car or fix your air conditioning. For a fee, I'll send you that information. But you know what I'm saying? We know who to speak to in most cases. And if not, then we always have an Ed or someone. We go, oh, I don't know, but I bet you they know.
Right. Right.
That's relationships.
Mm-hmm. It is.
That's how we built this business.
Go ahead, Scott. What you got?
Speaking of, gentlemen, we got looking at the live chat and Dove Mountain Epoxy Floors. I got to give them a quick shout out.
Yeah,
because
Steve and Abby.
Steve and Abby.
Yeah,
relationships are everything.
they really are.
They're listening and they agree. And if anybody understands that, it's people running small businesses
Amen.
locally, right?
Yes.
Amen. That's some of our
The
favorite
backbone
people.
of the country right there.
That's some of our favorite people, Steve and Abby and the
Yeah.
family right there.
Yeah, and we have
So
an
shout
episode
out,
with
guys.
them. Make sure you go check that out. But yeah, hey, thanks for watching and chiming in.
Yeah.
We appreciate you.
Thank you, Scott. So let's go back to we're kind of where we jumped in
Yeah.
real quick before we close out.
So I want to take some time to thank some people.
Yeah.
And like you said, we're probably gonna miss a couple names.
Oh, we will.
First off, I want to thank the leadership at the town, to include the town manager Terry Rosema.
Terry has sat right in
he
his
came
seat,
in here.
did an interview with us.
Yeah.
One of the best we ever did, and one of the best experiences we had. If you'll remember what happened later.
Yeah, it was really,
really
cool.
cool.
Yeah, so that for sure, and then also I kind of have a list here, of course, right? I want to shout out Alan Murdoch.
Oh, absolutely.
If you're looking to sell your home, you need to. You're kind of in a spot where it's a good move. Maybe you're in the military, you got to move somewhere quicker. You got a job coming up, you got to do a quick move out. Don't have time to fix up the house, things like that. There's a situation where you might need to sell pretty quick. Selltoallen.com. Reach out to them and him. They will take care of you. He's a great guy. He's been here.
Yep.
He's given up his own time to come in here and do podcasts, and he's recorded other stuff in here
and training
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, he's a great guy. So we want to thank Alan Murdoch and recognize him.
And if you want to buy a house, or build a house, or he's your guy.
Commercial,
So
anything, right?
Yeah.
That's the guy to go to. Another person is Jessica Moats, who's the president of 88 Crime. And she is a loan officer here, a senior loan officer. I might be messing that up, but she's here in the community. She's doing a lot of things. She's on the Town of Marana Citizens Forum or Civic Forum, whatever they call it now. She's doing a lot of things. She's done a lot of podcasts in here and brought people in to have
And her husband, Jason, is just an awesome human being, and he's done a couple podcasts as well.
Yeah. Scott Robb, who's over here doing all the stuff he gives himself.
Got the standing O for Scott.
I was going to hold the applause to the end and I'll let everybody go, but then you shouted me out. So
sorry, I put you on the spot.
We
man.
love this guy.
Chief Pridgett, Anton Chisholm, who's the owner of Innovative Signs and Constable in Pima County. Tim Nessinger of Bulldog Inc.
Yep.
If you're looking for some clothing or you're looking for some custom items, something different, maybe some polos, whether it's, it's what do you call it when there's string, when you put string? I can't think of the name right now.
What's that?
When you get something, embroidered.
Embroidered.
Yeah.
Oh,
So if you want
put
something
strings.
embroidered, or if you want something cool like this, so this is our hoodie that we have right here. You can literally go on our website and order this hoodie and it'll be shipped to your house.
Yeah.
And Tim and his team are behind all that. You know, we, again,
They're great.
relationships,
They're great.
we sat down and said, hey, how do we do this without, you know, causing this huge mess of inventory and all this stuff? And we put together a program where you can just go on our website, order merch and stuff if you want to rep the Live the Dream Media stuff.
Or you could buy this one that David has worn in podcasts, or we would sign it for you. So
Yes.
we could put that out for an auction, I guess.
Yeah, maybe an auction. You're funny. We got T-shirts. We've got water bottles and all kinds of stuff. Laser engraved water bottles that Tim has put on the merchandise list for our company.
He does all. He does if it's a wearable item or any of that stuff. Tim does it all.
Yeah, and if you're viewing this on Local Marana or This is Marana on any of those social platforms, so Live the Dream Media is the mother company of all these subsidiaries, and Local Marana also has its own merch area where you can go ahead and rep Local Marana. When you're doing that, you're supporting 2 local businesses right off the bat, right? Tim's a local provider. We provide local services here in Marana. And also it helps to ensure the Local Marana program that we've built continues to grow. What we mean by that is if you go to localmarana.com, there's businesses that are involved. These businesses have decided and taken it upon themselves to be in with Local Marana, to be listed on the website as a spot for people to go to when they're looking for services, right? You can go in our Local Marana group. You can ask for help. Hey, I'm looking for recommendations for this, right? Businesses that are in the group are there. But then you also have this other resource, which is the website, where you can just go straight to the Local Marana businesses. So if you're looking to do business with a business that's close to Marana in the Northwest area or in Marana, there's a list there for you.
Hey, if you live in Marana or in the surrounding areas, Local Marana, the group.
Yeah.
It is. It's a. We have
Facebook
to
group.
approve you.
Yeah.
But if you'll go on, answer a couple of simple questions like, do you live in Marana and why do you want to do this? Basic questions, social security number and stuff like that, or I don't think are on there. But I joke. Please go on there. It's a great resource center to ask a few questions. Thank you, Mr. Rob. But that's a great resource if you live in Northwest Pima County for sure.
Mm-hmm. Hey, and you're here watching us. We're live right now, right? This isn't a pre-recorded. Yeah. We do a lot of pre-recorded stuff.
Live from downtown Marana.
But we're working on providing a live broadcast experience, which is coming in fall of this year. And the cool thing is we're going to be releasing an article about it on our website. But the cool thing about it is the talent's already in, so the talent search is done. Usually that's the hard part is getting the talent, but the talent part is done.
Or at least the first wave. We know there's some more talent out there, but we got a good place to jump off for sure.
For sure. The one thing that we are going to be looking for is sponsors and advertisers. So at the beginning of this live broadcast, we'll play it at the end as well, we had an ad from selltoallen.com. That is going to be available for anybody who's interested. You can reach out to us at ltdmedia.net, go to the contact us page, shoot us an email, and get you a spot. Those are going to be available for people here. And that's another resource and all that. We're going to grow this thing. We're going to put a lot of money into marketing this thing. And our goal is to provide an experience. Let me throw the N on there and speak some proper English, David.
Yeah, come on, David.
We're going to do that. And our goal is to provide a resource for people to go to for local news, local information, local events, just all the happenings that are going on here. Yeah. Also, we're going to provide educational pieces, right? I know that you're coming back. I'm going to share that Clint is going to be part of the live programming, which is going to be really cool. And he's going to be doing a couple minutes with Clint. Is that what you're running with again?
Yeah, till we come up with another name. Maybe we may throw that out there. But yeah, and you know what? That's something I'm really looking forward to because I was humbled by David and a few other people around here saying, I'm an old guy, and I've learned a few things over time. And like my son, he's going to be 31, to kind of put that in perspective, your age. And I know not too long ago he was asking me about something, and I said, whatever it was, I gave him the answer. And he's like, well, that's what you say all the time. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah, because that's the way it is, and nothing has changed to change that. Those are just the facts,
Right.
you know. And so there's a lot of core stuff that I've learned over the years, and I'm throwing it around here, so I
Yeah.
might as well throw it out there. Maybe some of it
Yeah.
is sticking, but it's real just practical advice about how to live life without, you know, too many highs or lows. I like to just. I want you to, if you look at me, I don't want you to know what kind of day I'm really, because I'm having a good day.
Yeah.
But if I'm having a bad day, I don't want you to know it. Yeah, does that?
Right.
You've known me 8 years now, David.
Yeah.
How many times do you really see me out of sorts? Once or twice?
Yeah.
Maybe if I was hurting or you know. So, not too many highs, not too many lows. Just keep grinding away at whatever it is you love and you believe in doing, and that's kind of the focus of a couple minutes with Clint. It will be more than a couple of minutes. I can't stop on 2.
Yeah.
A few minutes with Clint.
Yeah. And the cool thing too is we're going to encourage listeners and viewers to call in. Like you saw and you heard Mayor Ed Honea had called in on our podcast program or this broadcast, right? And we can do that just on the fly. Just call in and we can talk to you. Also, we have the chat available where you can go in there and say stuff. So if you want to say, "Hey, Dave, stop, go away," like I can see it and read it right here.
Oh, that one's from my mom.
What did she say?
Go away.
I've been saying that for years.
Yeah. You know, another thing is this studio is for hire too. If you've got something that you want to promote or talk about, engage, you can come in here. It's very affordable. And you can come in here and kind of do your own thing. Take us out of the equation. We'll engineer it for you. And when you're done, you can walk out with whatever said piece is ready to go. We can help you cut it into reels.
Yeah.
And someone asked me one time, not too long ago, why do you do all your podcasts in video?
Yeah.
Isn't that an added burden? And the truth is, it is.
Yeah, it takes a lot.
It takes a lot more to add. The reason why is we can make, out of this short thing that we've done 20 or 30 minutes, we can make 15 or 20 reels
Right.
that will be more impactful than the thing in its entirety. So if you're looking to promote and looking to get people's attention, I would say reels, and the rest of it, just save your time.
Unless you want to do some other advertising, then you can reach out to us.
But I'm just talking about as far as Facebook and stuff.
Yeah.
That other stuff. And tell them what we offer when it comes to the other
anything.
stuff.
So if you're looking to do anything on anything digital, you know, Hulu, Spotify, any streaming app you can think of, Disney, we're on Amazon Prime now. So if you need to put anything out there, you got a commercial put together, you need one put together, we got you.
If they're streaming it, we've got access to them. And
Absolutely.
the cool thing for that, this will save you time, money, and energy. We buy directly from the provider.
Right. Yeah, there's
There's no third party involved. We buy directly. When he mentions those names, we buy directly from them. And that's was crazy to me that all those people reached out to us.
Yeah.
I was very concerned when these
Yeah.
responses started coming, and I'm like, what are they trying to sell us? And they weren't trying to sell us anything other than, hey, come help us.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a
Trippy.
surprise. That was a surprise to say the least. You know, we're coming to the end here. We've been on here for 38 minutes.
No.
I'm just now starting to learn how to talk.
How we doing in there, Scott?
Oh, you're doing great. You're looking good. You're sounding good.
You sound good, Scott.
Put a little something extra in his envelope.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes.
What?
Oh, whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
You know, the more you pay, the more engaged I am. It's like a live stream for musicians.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of which, shout out real quick. Correct me if I'm wrong on the time and date, Scott, but Saturday night. Matter of fact, you tell him. I don't want to mess it up. I know it's Saturday.
All right. Well, shameless plug. Saturday, you guys are looking for a little bit of happy hour acoustic jams. You know, since I retired from the fire department, I got a lot more free time to do the things I love, and we'll be playing some acoustic jams over at the Omni Resort. So it's free and it's open to the public. You just walk right into that main entrance, and the Omni has been redone quite well lately, and so just for a couple hours we'll be doing some happy hour jams.
Beautiful. Tammy and I were there. You were there 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it was a great experience. It was a lot of fun, and I told her you were back Saturday, and she's like, "Well, we're going." I'm like, "Yes, we are."
Absolutely.
So hope
Good.
to see you there at 6 o'clock, right?
Yes, sir.
6 to 8. Okay, beautiful.
I heard it was a serious rock jam.
Yes, Sirius is the most important asset you can bring to any type of live music event. So, I'm looking to make as many people cry as possible. Just deep seated feelings being unearthed in real time.
It was cool.
Yeah.
We really enjoyed. I told her when we went in for full clarification, Scott. I said, "Yeah, I've got maybe half hour in me. It was the end of a long day, a long week, and we passed that half hour mark." And she goes, "Well, where are we at?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm staying until he closes. So bring me more cheesecake."
That's good. That's a response you want to have. Usually it's not a good sign if there's a mass exodus about 15 minutes into the set.
Yeah.
You're like, "Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'm not landing here."
No,
great.
it was very fun.
Yeah.
And the room was beautiful. I hadn't been there since the remodel. It was really nice. I mean, not that it wasn't nice before. I don't want to, but it was very, very, very cool room. And you owned it, by the way, Scott, especially when you did the old Chris Stapleton.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Tennessee whiskey.
You did some Chris Stapleton?
Yeah.
Yep. Tennessee whiskey.
Oh,
That's
man.
it's a good one to close with. 'Cause
Okay.
everybody's drinking and having lemonades and
You know what was funny
Lemonade.
is
Burgers.
Scott, it has been. You want to say, Scott? You want to give him the line because someone wanted to buy you a drink when you started playing that song, if I recall, or somewhere in that time frame. And what did you say to them?
Well, for me, I'm 4.5 years sober, and what it was.
There you go.
Thank you. There. Yeah. I just like to say that I drank my lifetime supply a little early.
You took care of it
I
early.
had a lifetime supply. I took mine down because I'm an overachiever, so I took mine down quickly. And now I'm here to show people that they can have a good experience, whether sober or not. You can still enjoy your life and live events and all those different things.
You can. You know what? 30 years plus, I don't even remember now. Never regretted that decision one time, Scott. So good job.
Attaboy, you're a good influence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No problems there, by the way. Hey, and thanks for being here. And thanks to everybody that has been watching and took the time to get in here. I wish my mom had been a little more favorable, but actually,
It's okay. In the future, I can block her from the stream if it's going to rattle you.
Hey, I got to tell you, I'll tell you something off camera. It was funny from the other day. I'll just tell you something about that.
You're
David,
gonna do it off camera?
Yeah, I'll tell you.
I gotta
It's not
read.
like off color or anything. It's just
Let me read you what Scott put in the chat here. Hi, I'm Scott, and I'm your non-AI virtual assistant to guide you through this chat journey.
Well, right? You never know these days. I mean, usually a chat comes up and it's like, it's a robot.
It's a robot. Yeah,
no, we're
it's
real
this is a real Scott.
yeah.
This is real
There-
time.
This is a real
Matter of
legit
fact,
Scott.
he is search and rescue. He's got a program here on LTD. You'll find it
Unreleased.
unreleased. He's got a lot of stuff. So make sure to check our channel and the Scott Robb channels, Instagram, Facebook. Make sure you check those out. Scott's got some really cool stuff, and Scott's got a bunch of music too
Yeah.
that I would encourage people. Shout that out again where they can find that at, Scott.
Oh, sure. I'm new to the Insta game and the Facebook and all of that, but you can find me just on my name _ Scott Robb if you type it in.
Yeah, good stuff.
Where a lot of that stuff
Got a
is.
lot of stuff. Got a lot of new stuff, and we're going to help him bring some more new stuff to the table soon.
There you go. My man.
Who else? Did we leave anybody out?
Oh,
I want to shout out real quick Patty Comerford,
He said Town Morano.
Herb Kai, John Post, John Officer. Those people, they've been very instrumental and supportive of everything we're doing here. And
Melissa Zuppi.
Melissa
Forgot
Zuppi.
her. Yeah. We got to shout out.
Yeah. I'll shout out Chris DeSimone one more time. Christopher DeSimone
Yeah.
has been a godsend to us. And
Yeah. And if you haven't heard his radio show, Wake Up Tucson, it's on KVOI, 10:30 a.m. in the morning.
yeah.
Go ahead and give him a listen in the morning.
6 to 9,
6
Monday
to
through
9.
Friday.
Yeah. It's a good spot to go to. So, yeah, I want to shout out Dove Mountain Epoxy
Yeah.
one more time.
Good
if you're looking
people.
for your floors, you're looking for your concrete floor to have this real cool epoxy look, they do garage, they do like the front driveway stuff. Go and check out their website. Go look them up. Go with them. Do it. They are a local Marana company, local Marana business, part of the directory, and they are the only epoxy company in the program. And they're the ones
we're proud to have them here. That was an easy choice.
For sure.
Well, thank you, David, for a solid 4 years, man.
Yeah, it's been great. We're going into we're going to be jumping into year 5. We're going to be doing a lot of live broadcasting. And remember, this isn't our bread and butter. This is just something else we're doing on the side. Yeah, and our bread and butter is digital advertising. If you're needing help with stuff, reach out to us. But before we close, I want to say something real important. Okay, we need to vote.
Yeah,
people need to vote. Go vote. Read what you're signing on these petitions. Just because somebody presents you with a clipboard and tells you something, that doesn't mean that's what it is. Right? So I've been seeing this stuff going on for a couple of years now with these petitions that people go around with. And I'm not going to be the type to ever tell you how to vote, right? Or who to vote for. But you got to vote. In the city of Tucson, only 10% of the voters turned out to vote for their last election they had.
Even on a good year, the good place is a third.
That's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. And I think the town of Moran was maybe in the 20s, 20%.
But I want to go one step further. Yes, vote.
Yeah.
Yes. Get involved.
Yeah.
Go to a school board meeting. Go to a town council meeting. Go to a district. You don't have to go every time.
Yeah.
Go. Read a little bit. Rather than reading about some Hollywood star or some latest movie, no offense to that, but read a little bit about, especially local.
Right.
Because I've thought about that a lot lately because we know the leaders here and both are pretty much across the board around here.
Yeah.
I know them as people. Do I always agree with them?
No.
Come on.
Yeah.
But I know them as people, and I need more people to know their people as people.
Yeah.
That's back to that relationship thing.
Yeah.
Okay, we can agree to disagree on a lot of stuff. That's okay, but what's the main focus? And the only way to do that is get involved. Vote, absolutely, 100%. You need to be involved, but you need to be involved at some point in your local community.
Yeah.
Again, school board, town council, county-wide super. Go.
Yeah.
Go to these events and get to know some of these people. They're more than happy to talk to you.
Yeah.
Even if you disagree with them. I guarantee you Ed Honea will discuss anything with you that you want to bring up.
Yeah. Hey, Kevin, I see you on the feed, man. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you, Kevin Dunlap. He's over at OVCN. He's in here. What's up, Kevin? Going back to that, too, is I hear people make this gripe, right? Oh, I don't like how I don't trust them. No. Well, you got to work then. Because let me ask you something, right? Are you going to go to a restaurant in the drive-thru and just say, you know what? I'm going to pay you this amount of money. Just give me what you got.
Yeah.
Give me the best thing you got. Yeah. You might not get the best thing. Are you watching to see if that's going to be the best thing? Are you ensuring that's going to be the best thing, right? When you get to that window, you're going to hope that you had the best thing, right? And understand what you're getting. Why, when it comes to politics and comes to voting and stuff, don't just let it be. Yeah. Don't just continue to give money, because here's the fact: you're giving money every day. Mm-hmm. You're giving money to the people that are in control and in power to make decisions that they see fit are best for you. Yeah. Right? So take the time, be consistent, and start voting. If you haven't started voting, go vote. Take care of things. Go to your school board meetings. It's not hard.
Hey, do you like hot dogs or sausage? Do you
I like
hot
them,
dogs and sausage?
Yeah.
Most people do.
Yeah.
In some form or another, everybody's eating a hot dog or sausage, and they're good.
Yeah.
I've done this. Mm-hmm. I've made sausage. It's not pretty.
Yeah.
So you got to understand the not pretty to get the good at the end.
Yeah.
So I'm challenging people to get involved and make some sausage.
Yeah.
And if you do it right, it's going to be awesome in the back end. But you got to know how to get from here to there, and the only way to do that's get involved.
Yeah. Yeah. It puts an accountability on you too.
Yes, it does.
When you're voting people in, right? How things turn out, right? You're like, hey, I helped put that person in there. I have a responsibility to either continue the path we're going, or to make a change, or figure out somebody who's going to help make the change. That's another thing, is like, we got to get people involved to run.
StepUpArizona.com.
Yeah, so go to StepUpArizona.com. That's a good resource I saw that popped up. But yeah, just stuff. So that's kind of where I wanted to end this thing, because I was talking to my wife at home. I'm like, you know what? I feel like it's a responsibility for us, especially. I mean, like,
especially you younger people, because I'm going to tell you something. Older people tend to be more active. They're the ones that vote. They're the ones that, you know what? It's your game now. We're transitioning from my generation to yours. You guys, you younger people, David's age, Scott's age, my kid's age, you want a better world? It's on you now.
Right.
For better or worse, this is what we're leaving you. And so I would actually beg you, I implore you to get involved in your community. And again, it's about building relationships. I would never ask anybody to run for office. It's uncomfortable doing it, but I will ask everybody that I meet, especially if they're young and they're smart, will you consider it?
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I'm about 1 for 100, but that's not going to stop me from asking. Hey, one more time back to Kevin. Thanks, buddy.
Kevin says this. Kevin says, if every pork chop were perfect, we wouldn't have hot dogs.
That's a fact.
Yes, that's a good one.
Fact.
That's a good one.
It.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for engaging.
Hey,
on
Kevin's
that.
a good dude, man.
Yeah. Hey,
That's
Kevin, you wanna call in right now? You should call in right now.
373-2059.
520-373-2059.
Come on, we're waiting on you, big guy.
Put him on the spot. He bailed. He's out of the chat. I'm just kidding. I don't know what is he doing. Hey, Scott, is he still in the chat?
I do not see. What
Hey, he's
that
got a
is.
baby at home.
Yeah, he ain't got much time.
Things could change in a
phone isn't ringing.
in a heartbeat. Hey, real quick, Kevin Dunlap has been on this program a time or two.
Yeah.
He's an awesome young man. That's the
College
college pastor,
OVCN, yeah.
OVCN. And matter of fact, if you're looking for a home church and you're somewhere in the Pima County, I'd highly recommend Laurel Valley Church of the Nazarene.
Yeah, it's good.
Some really cool stuff happening there.
It's a good spot. Well, hey, did the check from Perrier come? Did it come, Scott? Is it here?
Yes, yeah, you can turn it now.
Oh,
they
is
were
it?
in the live feed, and they turn it in. Let's see Perrier.
Hey, shoot Kevin the phone number. He's asking for it. It's
373-2059.
There you go.
Anybody else wants to call?
Yeah, you're welcome to call.
Yeah.
If you're just chilling right now and
I'm just hanging around waiting for Edgar at
you
this
don't want to
point.
watch The Price is Right. Is that still on? You don't want to watch The Price
I
is
have
Right.
no idea.
You can just kind of leave that behind and come on here and talk smack.
You know the last time I watched daytime TV, I'm never home in the day.
I cut it. I'm
I
a
have
cable
no
cutter.
idea what's on TV.
Snip,
Sports.
snip,
Sports.
sports.
The
Oh yeah,
History
your
Channel.
baseball's back, huh? I saw you
Yeah,
posting about
baseball.
it 50 times already. I was like, my gosh, this guy's on a roll. Was that what one game was on?
Yeah. Hey, we got Belly back in the. That's huge.
I don't
man.
even know who that is.
He's an Arizona boy.
I'm so out of touch. I gotta go to a couple games with you or something. I gotta
Yeah.
get in touch. I just
Matter of fact,
don't have a lot of time.
I've never met Bellinger, but I see him around. He's my buddy Rick Peralt.
Yeah.
TopChoiceBaseball.com. Another shameless plug for a dear friend of mine. TopChoiceBaseball.com. Some of the best baseball you're ever going to see played at a youth level. From I don't know if they're doing expectant mothers leagues now or not, but from a young age to about 18. But people like him, Bryce Harper. There's a handful of people that I've seen when they were kids.
yeah.
11, 12, 13 years old. And I will tell you about both of them. You just knew. I mean, these kids were already bigger than everybody. They were faster than everybody.
Yeah.
I mean,
Speaking of kids that were great out of birth, I now have Kevin on the line.
Oh, Kevin, what's up, man?
Kevin!
Hey, Jim. How we doing, guys?
Good. You sound so masculine on the phone, dude. Not that you're not.
It must be OVCN phone number. My wife tells me the opposite when I my cell phone. So I don't know.
Call from there from now on. I'm telling you, it's Darth Vader sound.
Exactly.
Yeah. Did you put a sound effect on him,
just start
Scott, or
breathing
what?
Heavily.
No, not yet.
Yeah. How you doing, Kevin?
yet,
What are you
no,
doing
man.
right now?
I'm sitting here in the office. I saw the little notification that popped up, and I said, why not pop on there, see if I can crash you guys a little bit.
Bring
And
it.
I was able to do that.
What you got?
So,
Give us your best
that's pretty
shot.
Cool.
We've already had the mayor tearing us up. What do you got?
Oh man, well, see, I'd comment on your jacket there, but I like the Bulls, so I always throw it back to the Bears or something like that. But I won't do that. It's not fall season. I don't know. Let's talk baseball. How are you guys going to do this year? It's early, but how are you going to do this year?
I'm calling them for the Central. I'd love to pick up one more pitcher.
Bold. I don't know anything about baseball.
No, they're going to win. But for a late season swoon, they probably win the Central last year.
Sure.
They were on a roll. And are you a Brewers fan? Being a Packers fan, are you a Brewers fan as well?
No, I'm Roxy Diamondbacks.
Okay.
I'm a big Cubs fan. Told her that she could sway my baseball cheer once in a while, but just Diamond by proxy.
Yeah, I'll root for the Diamondbacks as long as it doesn't interfere with what the Cubs are doing. I remember back in 2001 when the Diamondbacks won the World Series, they were playing the Cubs in a home series in August, and the Cubs were going nowhere at that time. And I'm like, as Sosa, we're still with the Cubs, and I'm like, I hope Sosa has a good series, but the Diamondbacks need these games, and you can go check it. I'm pretty sure I'm accurate. The Diamondbacks won all 6 games, 3 here, 3 there, on their way to what we know was a triumphant World Series in 2001. Which
I think that I thought they might have lost one. That sounds right. I know it's been a crazy season.
Do you remember that 2001 series? I know you guys were all young, but
I do. Well, what I remember is sitting with my dad. So I'm in first grade, and time was quite a bit earlier than that. So I remember I'm sitting there with my dad, and it's over. You see Luis Gonzalez hit that walk off, and I just start running around the house, and he go out in the front yard and start honking the horns of all the cars. He gives me the keys. He goes, "Hey, start just making pots and pans." And, so a little first grade kid got to make bunch of noise in the middle of the night, and I thought it was the coolest thing. So I definitely remember that.
And being along,
I actually
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'm going to say I remember following each and every one of the pitchers. I have a few like rookie cards. I think I have a Kurt rookie card and Craig Counsell and his weird swing.
Yeah.
And, all those things that I remember. So it's fun stuff. It's fun looking back at that.
I was working in the sporting goods world at that time, baseball related stuff, and I got, I was down at spring training a lot. I knew and still do a lot of those guys. I'd see them around Gonzo and Matt Williams and people like that on a regular. I used to, and it was a trip. But I got to tell you, I was telling my kids who were roughly the same age, being a longtime Cub fan, that like, hey, don't get used to this. I've been waiting for one of these my whole life. And it took another 15 years for the Cubs to actually get me one. So, if you're a sports fan,
my wife told me she was bawling her eyes out when the Cubs won that World Series. So her and her dad sitting there crying their eyes out.
And you think of all the people that aren't with us any longer during that time frame.
Sure.
My father and different people that I knew were big Cub fans, and that was like, I wish they could experience this with us. Hey, one real quick thing. I'm a Diamondbacks fan, so I'm rooting for you, but I'm a Cubs fan first. I was at Game 5 at Chase Field. I want to call it Bank One, but it's Chase Field when the Rangers won last fall, and that was actually pretty cool. My sister and I drove up, and we're like, if the Diamondbacks aren't going to come back from 3-1, tonight would be a real good night to win a championship for the Rangers. And we were had some great seats. Shout out to my sister, Glenna. Man, she got us good seats. If you've ever seen the video, they're over my shoulder. It's Rodriguez, Big Papi, Jeter. We were sitting in a section that had Ranger fans. A lot of Ranger fans were in that section, and they had never won. Mm-hmm. And to see some of the people win, and then to hear their stories and stuff was really. I hope you're not a Diamondback fan and you're offended by this, but that was really cool to see that.
What kind of fan are you, sir?
What's that?
What kind of fan are you?
Well, I'm a Cubs fan.
I mean, to just be able to pivot on a dime and say, well, let me go see how the Rangers celebrate this championship.
He's a baseball fan.
Well, let me rephrase that. I'm a baseball fan first. Okay.
Okay.
Baseball. Then it's the
So
Cubs.
where does the term bandwagoner come into play over there? Is
Baseball
that something we need to
first.
start throwing around yet, or-
Cubs fan second, and then third. Anyone playing the St. Louis Cardinals now becomes third on the list, and then we go according to situation. Cubs are number one all the way through the end. Although I worked for the White Sox, and I'm going to call Rick Peralta out again. Said, Clint, you took Jerry's money wearing a Cubs hat, and I said I did not. I can prove it with every picture we took.
Yeah,
and I've got one hanging in my office. I got a White Sox fan on.
You weren't wearing a Cubs hat that day.
I was not. The man paid me. I have the respect for that.
All right, I believe you.
Hey, if I'm driving down the road and I see the lights on, I used to do this a lot when I was younger. Man, I'd pull over. If I got 10 minutes at all, I'm pulling over. I'm watching. It didn't matter. Girls softball, little league, t-ball. I didn't care. I just wanted to be where the lights were and the kids were playing. Does that answer your question, Scott?
Yeah, but I think you may have contributed to the problem, because if you look at the World Series, I'll even go back because I did hit the playoff game with the Phillies.
Yes,
and I think because it was so new for Diamondbacks fans to have something this epic happening, that you look around and so many of the fans were kind of like there because it was the place.
That's
to
true.
be.
Yeah,
not necessarily because they loved the D-backs. And my mother-in-law and sister-in-law and myself went, and we were taking that in, and we're like, oh man, we don't have the home field advantage that
that's absolutely a fact, Scott.
That a culture like the Yankees or the Cubs or the Dodgers,
that's
people
a fact.
that have those storied organizations have, and hopefully we start building on that.
Well, have you ever been there to a Cub game?
More Cubs fans
there's definitely two to one. You know, I noticed that. I don't remember what game I was at. I was at the game that the Diamondbacks walked off when Craig Kimbrell. Why can't I say Kimball was on the mound? Remember the wild pitch? And
yeah, he's my favorite pitcher.
Yeah, and you know what? I noticed what you said was the Diamondbacks fans almost didn't know how to react. And they were winning. I mean, they came back and won that series.
Right.
But it was it was loud. That may have been the loudest crowd I was ever in.
You know, I'll use a similar analogy when you're early on into firefighting and somebody gets their first house fire and you're going through the overhaul phase and you're kind of amped up and you're high-fiving people and it's like you're digging through the rubble. Like, act like you've been there before.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we weren't there yet as an organization. We're going to be there now. We're going to establish some winning, and we'll be there. But we got to act like we've been there before.
Yeah, right.
I agree. I agree with that, Scott. We'll have to check and see. We might have been at the same game. I'm not sure. It was the loudest crowd I ever heard, but it seemed like it took a while for them to. Remember that it was like 2-1 towards the very end. I mean, there was no offense.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I watch is the playoffs. That's it.
That's kind of me with football now.
Yeah.
I do watch the playoffs. That's a long season.
Yeah.
I know it's only 17, 18 games, but it's a long season stretched out for months.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Kevin, what do you got going on?
How many games are played?
What?
How many games are typically played in this?
In what?
I mean, those are long.
Baseball season?
162.
Oh, my God.
162. And don't be chopping no games off of that, by the way. I could live with going back. I could live with going back to the 154. It's what it had been prior to, I think, 1960.
What's the reasoning behind that?
Well, you got at that time you wanted to play the same amount of teams, the same teams in your league,
Is it
the
'cause
same
you have
amount
so
of
many
time,
people?
and now they're all playing interleague and all that. So you could. Here's the reason why baseball is a marathon. It's not a sprint. Football you couldn't play more than what they play once a week.
Yeah.
These guys are getting beat up. Basketball every couple nights, because they're putting a lot in. But baseball is Scott, you're a baseball player. There's more leisure involved in the game of baseball. A lot of standing around. Not as boring as people think. There's a lot of stuff happening, but you can play day in and day out. So don't be cutting the season too much. And by the way, go ahead.
I was going to say it has the longest season and the shortest off season for professional sports, if I'm not mistaken. Doesn't it?
Well, it's a month. I could live with less people in the playoffs, which would have eliminated the Diamondbacks this year. I could live with a few less.
Again, Clint, whose side are you on?
Well, I was cheering for the Diamondbacks. Let's get that straight. But if you're not going to win,
Yeah.
I'd sure like to see a celebration on the field, which I have never seen. But now I can take that off my my bucket list that I've seen a World Series winning game.
Yeah,
I was
you've
at
seen
Game
the
6
enemy.
in 02. I was at 6, not 7.
Oh.
And I had the choice, but I took 6, thinking, well, if they don't go to 7, again, who am I rooting for? But I wanted to be at a World Series game, so I picked the wrong one.
Hey, you've got 10 minutes till Edgar comes, right? Is it 11 or 11:30?
11:30.
Oh, we're good then. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
You got something going on?
No.
I'm all caught up.
Yeah, I'm all caught up. Did Folgers send their
Folgers?
Folgers? I think
We drinking some Folgers?
Am I drinking?
You know what? People
Folgers?
knock Folgers all the time, and I still think, and I've drank. My wife has one of those Breville's,
Yeah.
like the espresso machines. Hey, Kevin, do you guys have a coffee machine at your home?
We have one of those 2-in-1. It's a Keurig and a drip coffee. We
Okay.
have a little espresso maker that I don't use enough that I want to start using more. But my wife doesn't drink coffee anymore. Ever since she became pregnant, she
Right.
doesn't drink coffee, and then it messes with my son whenever she
Yeah,
nurses.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
Yeah,
understandable.
I'm the only coffee drinker now.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. We do a lot of events
Yeah.
at Top.
Yeah.
Fresh Catering, Copper Creek Cookies.
Yeah.
We do Folgers.
Yeah.
And you'd be shocked how many times people come up and say, "Wow, that's great coffee. Where'd you get that coffee?" And we're like, "Well, it's Folgers."
Yeah. Scott, can you make sure the check comes from Folgers too, please?
Yeah, you're right.
But I am working with a clear label, so we're
Yeah.
not really.
No label.
Yeah, no label.
But
so.
in all reality, though, like I wouldn't say I'm a connoisseur of coffee, but I drink a pretty good amount of it. And every time I come here, like I'm like, the Folgers is where it's at. I know it's weird, but it really
Okay.
is.
Here's the thing: I put nothing in. I'm a black coffee drinker.
Oh,
No
cowboy.
sugar, no cream, nothing, zero, nothing.
Do we have a
I'm
Western
right there
sound
with you
effects?
most of the time, Clint. I'm
And-
right most of the time.
Couple
Black coffee.
cowboys on the radio
Hey, now,
on here right now.
once a year, I might throw a little French vanilla or something in there just
Yeah.
to like spice it up at the holidays. But 99% of what I drink is right here. And what I notice in out drinking coffee, and I drink a lot,
Mm-hmm.
man, people make coffee like this is 100-mile coffee. I mean, like how long that coffee been cooking?
Yeah.
I mean, that's like mud.
Yeah. That's why it was really cool when Circle K put in their new machines.
They're pretty good.
Right.
$1 or
It
whatever.
grinds it right there, and then
Hey, have you guys heard my coffee story? Scott, Kevin, my coffee story?
I don't think so.
When I was traveling, I was drinking 2 or 3 thermoses. Remember the good old
yeah.
thermoses? You know, and they were anywhere from $1 to $2 or $3 a thermos, and I was knocking out about 3 or 4 or 5 of those a day. And I started doing the math, and I'm like, I'm spending $1,000 a year on coffee. This was a long time ago. It was 30 plus years ago. So I bought myself a little plug-in the cigarette lighter, 5-cupper, I think it was. And they didn't last forever, but they cost like $25 back in the day. And I bought a can of Folgers,
Yeah.
$4. Water's free anywhere. If you got a jug, just about anybody would fill you up. And I went from spending $1,000 a year on coffee that half the time sucked, right?
Yeah.
So I'm spending like maybe $100 a year in coffee that was made by, for, exactly to my taste. So I've always used that analogy as there's a lot of ways to create ways to change your financial outcome with little subtle things. So this $6 a cup of coffee to me is like, that's just insane.
It's nuts.
I'm
right now.
sorry.
Yeah. What are your what you got, Kevin?
Well, I was going to say I'm trying to look it up here on the computer and I can't find it, but I remember reading something probably 3 or 4 years ago where they did this blind coffee taste test, compared Starbucks, McDonald's, and Circle K, and I'm trying to find it and I can't find the exact one, but McDonald's coffee ended up being what people picked. It went McDonald's coffee, Circle K coffee, and then Starbucks,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
it doesn't necessarily surprise me that Starbucks is last. It surprised me a little bit that, I guess people were choosing McDonald's. So I feel like it's all about the beans, but I don't like cheap coffee either. I give my wife a hard time because when she drinks coffee, it's 3/4 cream and a splash of
Pancake syrup, man. Come on.
and whatnot. So yeah, I can't find it. But no, it's fascinating how people think that they like a certain coffee, and then you go in and they taste it blindly, and their whole life has changed.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting you bring up the McDonald's coffee. So I'm pretty sure on this, what I came across was their coffee is actually Don Francisco.
I think I've heard that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, their McCafe is Don Francisco. Scott, can you Google that and see if I'm completely way off here? I don't want to be over here giving misinformation out. I don't want to get fact checked. I don't want to be canceled. Okay, I don't want any of that.
People will cancel over coffee now, man. People are.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Thing about
Yeah,
coffee and you're done.
yeah.
We got so many coffee snobs. I've had people say I'm a coffee snob. I'm like, oh man, pick something better.
You know what? You said something too, Kevin. I think Starbucks sucks.
I do too.
It's
I'm
like
not a big fan.
burnt. It's always burnt and like just haggard. I mean, the cups are cool.
I do like their blonde roast. Their blonde roast is pretty good, but other than that, I'm not going out of my way to get Starbucks.
Do you like the blonde
agree
roast
with
because
that.
it's got a lot more caffeine, or is it?
More caffeine. I like the way it tastes. It's a little bit more flavor, maybe a little bit more bitter.
Yeah.
But I mean, just like Clint, I like that black kind of bitter,
Cowboy?
smooth,
And hot.
Yeah, cowboy.
Just below a third
Yeah.
degree burn, right?
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
You
Fun fact: it is a Gavinia Gourmet coffee, which is made by Don Francisco.
There you go.
see? So that's why. Have you ever had Don Francisco?
Yeah, it's good.
They have
Well, it's
this
McDonald's.
They have this vanilla one. Like it's a vanilla roast, where when you're brewing it, your whole house just smells like the vanilla smell of it. And I was like, this explains it. This explains.
I love the smell of coffee.
Because I think McDonald's is that's one of my top in the morning.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's real. You can tell that it's good beans.
Yeah, so you're
My uncle spent time in Vietnam, and he does a lot of traveling. And I'm looking up the name, and I can't find it. But like the weasel poop coffee, have you guys heard of that
Yes.
before?
what is it?
Yeah. I'm not going there.
Weasel poop?
Yeah, poop.
Weasel poop. So
That's the
they
key
feed
word there.
Weasels. Yeah, they feed weasels coffee beans, and then they strain it from the feces and rebrew the coffee, and it's supposed to be some of the best coffee that you've
Gotta
ever had in your
stop.
life.
Got to pass.
My uncle liked it.
No
Yeah.
way. Did you try it?
Yeah.
No, I got to pass.
No, Kevin.
No, I haven't tried
you
it.
haven't
I've
tried- are you
tried
going to?
anything once, but I'd try it.
You try-
I'd try it. If I can get some over to you guys.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
You can bring it over here to the studio
I
and
just
try it that
won't-
day.
I just won't tell Clint.
Yeah.
I just Clint,
Yeah,
be like,
maybe
"Here's
that'd
some-
be
here's
one of
some
those
Folgers."
blind. Yeah, let's do one of those blind tests if we're going to whip out some poop.
Some weasel poop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just, how
Yeah,
do you
the
even get
pictures- the
past
pictures
that?
don't get, yeah,
I guess you
I
could
don't know, I'd
pretend
try
it's
it.
sausage, right? You're going to make a sausage.
Yeah, there you
okay,
go.
we're making coffee
There you go.
sausage.
Oh my
Wow.
Yeah.
So, hey, Kevin, while we got you on the line, what's going on over there? What are you excited about for what you're doing over there at OVC, and what's on your agenda that makes you happy?
Yeah, so I'll talk personal for a second. So let's see. So I just started my online courses. So I've kind of been discerning on how I want to approach schooling and whatnot, and my ordination path. So I actually just started my online courses through NBC. So that's actually pretty cool. I'm
Nice.
super excited to on the ordination track and I don't know, just lean on God. The past few weeks have been overwhelming. I think I told you guys we bought a house. My wife and I moved in.
Congratulations,
But,
man. Let's give him
it
the
is-
clap.
American dream,
there you
baby.
go. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exciting, guys. But a lot of see, there you go. Wow, you guys have a lot more people in that studio.
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
Yeah.
It's impressive, guys.
Standing room only right over there.
Yeah. No, it's crazy though, because a lot of these last couple weeks, I've had to stop. You know, we hear the phrase all the time. Don't lean on your own understanding, but lean on God's, and it has been so prevalent in my life recently because of just the overwhelming aspects of life. And so God says, hey, just stop, just take a breath, take a step back, and I've got you. So the fact that all of this is happening at once it's pretty darn crazy. My wife told me last night, that there's the three main things in life that people will stress over the most is changing jobs,
Mm-hmm.
a house, and then having a baby, and transitions with babies, and we're two of the three of those, and it's just crazy. But all that to say, I guess to address your original question, is I'm just excited to see what God has in store over the next 3-4 years. In the immediate future, we're planning on doing a little bit of a split with our young adult group. So I've started, and this is what I'll call a soft advertisement, because this is really the first, I guess, media presence that we mentioned. This is we meet on Wednesdays at the church at OVCN, and I'm starting a Bible study for people 25 to 35-ish. There's a little asterisk there, but the older of the young adult crew, and we're starting to steer away from strictly college.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to see what that movement has in store for us. I'm excited to see that grow. And it goes back to, me not loving change, but God saying, hey, keep pushing forward, because there's stuff that's moving that you don't see. So that's what's happening here in the immediate future. But we're, just leaning on. We've been doing it about 3-4 weeks, just been word of mouth. But come August, come next semester, we're going to do more of a
pump it up,
proper advertisement, if you will. And I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see what is going to come out of this. So yeah, a lot of new stuff, a lot of great stuff, a lot of just holding on to the current Holy Spirit and loving what He's showing me. Right. So a lot of good stuff.
Hey, to piggyback off what you said, not loving change. I don't think anybody really enjoys change, but we embrace around here. Be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You Amen just got to keep yourself like. That's why I love, and I'll say it to you guys. That's why I love hanging out with so many people that are younger, considerably in many cases younger than me, because I can see your excitement and enthusiasm, or at least I can keep mine kindled through that. But I also know that today is not forever, right? This moment is not forever in most cases. And you got to just we talked about it a while ago. You and I were just talking about this. We do things a lot of other people won't do, not because we're special, because we're okay being uncomfortable doing it.
Right.
We've reached that point of uncomfortability.
Yeah. No, you're right, Kevin.
Yeah, you're not going to grow if you're complacent. I was actually just talking to a college group about this the other day. I gave a brief history of Lent and talked about sacrifice and stuff like that. But it's not just young adults, really. This applies to everyone. So many people want to grow. So many people want to, be better. There's more to it than just that. But so many people want to be better, but they're not willing to put that hard work in. They're not willing to scrape their knees. They're not willing to be uncomfortable so that it can grow. Yeah. You will never grow if you stay complacent.
When
never, it's not going to happen.
No, well, you can't. You can't. When Chris Collins was on, this was a couple of years ago with David, and he was talking about the biosphere. You remember that?
Yeah,
he was talking about the plants and the vegetation in the biosphere couldn't grow. The big ones couldn't grow because there was no resistance. Like the bigger trees, the bigger the tree, the deeper the roots. But the more strength they have because of all the wind and elements that they've got, and they couldn't replicate that in the biosphere. So they almost had to go back and rejigger, if you will, how they were going to approach that, because the harshness and the climate is what creates growth. Yeah, not just a seed in the ground. You've got to have so that
and then it creates resilience.
Exactly. Too. Yeah, that's you know what, Kevin? I'm going to be there tonight. I'll be upstairs if you get a chance. Shout at me.
Yeah, I'll come harass you.
Okay.
I'll harass you. I'm in the conference room. A good problem to have right now is running out of space.
Yeah, yeah, it really is.
Running out of space with some of these groups. So.
Hey, they were dragging chairs in on second service.
Yeah. And hey, Kevin, you're doing a small group too?
There's technically 3 groups. So we have our college group on Mondays. We have the young adult small group Bible study / thing, and then my wife and I are also a part of our own small group, a group of about 10, 12 of us. In many different walks of life. There's a few couples, there's a couple engaged couples, and then some single folks as well. But nice. It's important to have community.
Yeah, I got to pick your brain more on that.
That community.
I'm gonna have to pick your brain more on that.
Yeah, he was talking about you a couple days ago about that.
Yeah, my wife's like, "Oh, is that Kevin Dunlap? Is that his group?" I'm like, "I'll reach out and see." So perfect time and do it on the air. So, well, Kevin, we appreciate you so much for calling in, man. We got to get ready for another session here. We appreciate everything you do.
No worries, gentlemen.
And
thanks for letting me come in.
Hey, Kevin, real quick, last minute. Tomorrow night, 6:00 top first ever, this invite only. You're getting your invite. Community dinner. It's going to be a lot of people in the room, young, old, people we know, people we care about, and we feel like they all should be in the room with each other. So 6:30 tomorrow, 6 o'clock tomorrow, if you got time.
Okay, I'll let you know. That
Okay.
sounds lovely. We're out of our old house tomorrow, so I will let you know.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
understood. Hey, these are going to be monthly things. So if you can't get this one,
cool.
we'll give you more heads up in the next one.
Definitely plug into the next one. Well, hey, gentlemen, I
Kevin.
appreciate what you guys do and praying for you guys. Yeah, I love you guys too. Have an awesome night.
Hey,
Day.
tell your whole team that we love them and we appreciate them.
Yeah. Go
will.
down
I will. Thank you.
that hallway there and just tell them all one big loud voice. David and Clint and Scott love you.
I will. I'll pass it along, gentlemen. You
Hey,
guys have
thank
an
you.
awesome day. I'll talk
Thank
to y'all
you.
soon.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Well, we're at an hour and 20 minutes of broadcasting
David
today.
came in this morning and says, "Hey, let's do a test."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, let's go."
And
so
hey,
we
Scott
pushed
was
it.
in too.
And
Scott said it too. I know we got to get him. He actually has a camera, but I didn't put it in as a scene.
Next time.
That's my bad. So
Hey,
so from here on
last
out,
time
Scott, you
you're
can actually
anonymous, Scott.
switch to your camera too. So, anyways, we're gonna close it down. Hey, thank you so much if you tuned in and if you're catching the end. This was our first actual live broadcast,
And it was fantastic.
And it was awesome.
People will be talking about this for years to come.
We want to
Where
thank
have you
all
been? Go back and watch
tens
the
of our
replay.
viewers for tuning in. Thank you to Ed Honea, the mayor of Marana, for giving us a phone call, and again, Kevin Dunlap from Oro Valley Church of the Nazarene calling in.
And Steve and Abby up in at Mountain Epoxy for getting on there as well.
Appreciate it so much.
Love you guys.
Again, we're going to close out. We're going to close out with that ad that you have there, Scott. We want to again say thank you to Alan Murdoch. This is his commercial. If you're interested in being on these live broadcasts that are coming your way, fully starting in fall of 2024, reach out to us and we got you covered. Thank you so much from the Live the Dream Media team.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.